So I've removed these seats. You can see them up the top there. I've got the other one over there. So now that I've removed the seats, I've got clear access to continue removing the seat bases. And in this particular case, I've only got a couple more bolts to go, from what I can see anyway. The other side I've got to start from the beginning because I haven't touched any of the bolts there. So I don't know how rusted these things are going to be. So it's going to be interesting. That one's almost too easy. And they are like so. Now I'm going to have to do the whole lot. And I did, as you've probably spotted from previous videos, I have actually sprayed a hell of a lot of diesel on here. Again, for the purposes of making sure that things are quite loosened. And perhaps that's what's helped. You can see that there's no resistance there. There's a little bit of rust on the, as you would expect, on the actual screws, but not too bad. So what I'll do is I'll remove this. So I'll just go around to each of these screws here, all the way around, right almost to the end. I thought I'll use the electric, seeing that there's not too much issue, as you can see, with taking these out. Right, I'll just remove these so I'm not dropping them, because I'm notorious for dropping nuts and bolts and then disappearing into the ether. Alright, are you ready? Let's do it this way. Let's get rid of that over there. Let's lift this up this way. Voila! Not too bad. Make sure that that doesn't fall on me there. That's pretty good. That looks like it's just pretty much dirt there for the moment. So what I'll do is I'm going to scrape all this off, because I'm super keen now to see what that's like. But not bad. So after a very quick clean, scrub and vacuum, look, that's turned out very good. No rust at all. Very happy with the results. And with this one here, you can see it's just the yellow plate that's just got dirt on it. So that'll clean up, and of course the other side was fine as well. So I'm going to have to take this out and treat that for the rust. Hopefully I can salvage it. It's just on the corners there. But effectively then it means that the seats are held by these basically four legs. So you've got the 1, 2, and obviously the bolts here, 3, and then the bolts, as I said over there beforehand, on that side. And of course then I've got that plate here, and then to remove that. So that'll be next, that, you know, obviously the transmission tunnel, and so on and so forth. But the other little thing here, again, little Ziploc bag so that I know where the bolts come from. I was told about this little handy tip by another mate of mine, and it certainly does help keep it all together. So this is quite good, really wrapped. I'm going to concentrate now on this. So the next steps are to get some of my tools. I have to move this out of the way. going to have to organise myself too. This is the other thing that you've got to keep in mind when doing projects like this, is that you can't rush. You've got to just organise yourself as you're going. And I'm just going to go ahead and find the right socket for these things. Just a little hint here, taking this floor plate actually was a good thing to do anyway, because I was able to bring the spanner underneath and hold it underneath here, you see. And I'm going to see if I can reach over there and do the same for that one. So that's great. You don't have to have somebody underneath the vehicle and one on top to undo it. So especially if you're like me and you're doing most of this on your own. All right, I'll get on to the other one. A little bit of a dab of diesel certainly helped to get things going, and the nut underneath is secured, so I don't have to worry about holding it at that end. And yeah, if I had one of those ratchet spanners, probably could do this in half the time. Here we go. Right. You can see how the diesel works its way through. Fantastic. There's my seat bag. Okay. These things here come off, so I just got to be careful. I wonder if there's anything else that I haven't. Oh no, here we go. Okay. Right. I'll put it upside down so we can check the condition. Yeah. That might not be too good there. I'll have a look in a moment. But yeah, you can see how that's been eaten away there. Woo, yep. I'll give it a bit of a going over anyway, but I mean really for a safety perspective anyway, you wouldn't want to reuse it. And over here, see whether or not it's the actual rust from the seat base or whether it's actually rust from this itself. I'm not particularly worried about this because this is going to be changed anyway. I'm more concerned about this. So what I'll do is I'll scrub around here and clean it up, and then let's have a look at the damage. So a couple of things to note. I noticed that there were washers between the seat base and the floor. I don't actually know if that's how it's supposed to be or not. I'm going to have to look that up, or certainly let me know if in the comments if you do know how they're supposed to go. But at any rate, I've got those. So I'll just put them aside in my seat bolts thing, the bag. And I've got this little thing here, so I'll just peel that off. Yeah, plenty of glue. There we are. Probably just cut up a new piece of carpet later on for that if that's required. But over here, these chunks of rust came out of this section here. And this there as well. doing this more out of curiosity rather than trying to salvage it. There you go, look at that. Right there, that's the seal along with the rest of it and the lower A pillar. This, on the other hand, seems okay. So, lots to clean up, but at least now, effectively, I just got to remove that. I'll remove the transmission tunnel as part of gutting it. I mean, I have to have all this out anyway in order to get to the seals on both sides and to the lower pillars, both A and B. And of course, I've got some work to do there. So again, I'll clean this up and I'll go to the other side. Couldn't help myself. I decided to give it even a bit more of a clean. It's actually looking a lot better now in these areas here. So I'll just treat it with some rust converter. Also here, I noticed that behind the seats you've got these spaces, and you can see there's one there as well. So I just got to make sure I don't lose them. Right, looking more and more like a wreck. Now for the other side, this side. So I haven't touched this side. 2 bolts there, 2 there, 1, 2, these ones here internally. You've got these 2 exterior ones, those 2, and this one I've already removed previously. So the same principle applies. I can't remember what sizes these were. I think they were actually quite large. But I know on the driver's side, I had to cut that one and this one here. Excuse the crudeness of the film or camera work. It's just that my son isn't here at the moment to help me with it. So effectively, just putting this underneath, and this one is a little bit more difficult than the other side, but you get that. It's almost there. You're asking why am I using power tools? That's a damn good question. Right. So again, the diesel working its magic. Except for the fact that your hands get incredibly dirty. And this, actually, I'm not going to do that, am I? So these two have been taken out. So now I just do these. And again, use the tools that are going to fast the process a bit. So in this case, working on these. And again, fairly clean threads, which is great. Now to do these two top ones, I'll see if I can position the camera a bit better. All right. Preparation is key. As I said, I can't speak highly enough of trying to use, using diesel actually as a lubricant to help with the rusted bolts. Now this one obviously has now decided to sorry about the hand, but that's what I was trying to get to. That. So as you just saw, those two are out. Now for the next lot. Now they're all different sizes, but anyway, that's fine. Just got to do what you got to do. So that one's out. Those two are out. Those two are out. These two are out. So now we've got these 4 and these 2. So 6 more to go. I'll just get the right tool because that always helps. So like last time, these 4 here are actually supported by the nuts underneath the seal. I'll show you where they are. Oh, excuse me. Right, there you go. 2 and the other ones. I might just give them a bit of a, like I did previously, a bit of a wire brush to get rid of any of the dirt on the threads. And then what I'll do is I'll grab the spanner and put it underneath. So put that underneath on the bolt and start turning them. So I'll do the cleanup first. Right, so holding that underneath. Probably should be doing it the other way around, really. Alright, so we've got those. So now to repeat the process for, well, there's one here and then the other 2 over here. Almost there. Had to actually scrub some of the paint off You see that there's some paint on there which I needed to clean up for the socket to fit in properly, and that's why it's a bit of a tight fit, but that's what you want anyway. So now it's also to undo these two, that one there, and I think, okay, and yes, that's all spinning underneath. And if I can get to it from here. Okay, now this side. See if you can see a bit more detail. You can see what I mean about the paint getting in the way there. All part of the prep. This one proved to be a bit of a saga, but I finally managed to get rid of it. So again, collect all the nuts and bolts and washers and whatnot. I don't plan on reusing these, but what I will be doing is I'll be getting an entire set new, and grade 8s and so on. So all of these plus the other side, etc, etc. Right, so first things first, let's just move all that over here. Grab all these again, organise myself, and we've got the spring, put that over here, and how are we? Pretty good. Right. And of course, just be careful of these things that keep popping out. Right. I think this one's salvageable. The surface rust. Doesn't seem to be any major chunks missing from it. So that's good. And you can kind of tell because the condition of the floor around here will tell you or give you an indication. Remember I told you about all these washers that sat underneath that. In fact, these ones aren't even there. So we've got these washers. Put them over there. Same scenario here. Rubbish. Put that on the floor there. Right, I'll see if I can position the camera a bit better. And again, it's more for me just to have a look at the condition of it, because this will be replaced anyway. So the floor here looks pretty good. This is the seal. You can see the line between the two panels. That's got to be replaced. It is actually not as bad as the other side, but I'll get them replaced anyway. Okay, so here it's just the usual crud that's been left over the years. You can see on this side it's actually pretty good as well. So I'll just grab the vacuum. Alright, so a quick indication there. Happy with that. There's this space that I told you about before. So I'll put that with the seat. And so the next steps would be to give this a good clean up. Really clean it up for me to remove this transmission tunnel, because I need to remove it, because as you can see over here the rust is kind of spread a little bit further. But of course I also want to get to the transmission as well and all that good stuff. So here we have it, another small task done. Well, I shouldn't say small task, it's a milestone I suppose. So thanks again for your patience. I hope this has helped you out. As I said in my previous videos, this is the first time I'm pulling apart a Rangey, so I'm kind of learning as I'm going as well. But it's great. So thanks for watching.